So the st- welcome back to the stream. And in today's stream, we will be continuing with our hard gameplay. Nothing really special here. I think I'm just gonna take some orders into the shop. Um, yeah, probably about it. I mean, we don't really have enough credits yet to do much else. But yeah, so with that, let's go ahead and continue. So I was looking over my page and I just figured you guys really deserve another live episode. After all, you guys seem to be liking them lately, so I figured I'd go ahead and bring one out for you. We got this van. Looks like it was close to the time being up, so I figured I'd pull it on in to the garage. Let's see what we have here. Engine is not working. It's choppy, much like my car and RL. Brake problems. Alright. Brake problems should be fairly easy. I mean, what, 74 minimum? Oh, this is part of the problem. This might be it too. See if we could repair those two. Well, one of them. Got a cylinder in there too. And it turns out I had an extra one. I believe that was from the last live stream we did. So that's good. Got that in there. Let's check out the engine. With a compression test, however, engine cannot be started. Now, if you look at this ignition coil here, you'll see it looks kind of worn. Generally indicates it's worn. So, that's more than likely the reason it's probably not starting. We'll go ahead and purchase a new one of those. Since it looks like it was at 21%, I believe it said. That's replaced. I just want to check out the fuel pump. Doesn't look rusted or anything, so it should be good. The ECU looks a little worn, especially when the minimum is 71%, was it? So, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Yeah, that's 9%. Definitely needs to be replaced. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and try and start it up again. There we go. Oh, everything there is good. Let me see. Two of the problems, still only one, causing a choppy engine. And the brake problems, four of them, which means brace. What does that have to do with anything? Brake disc or rotors. Okay, you got a caliber in there that needs to be replaced. Everything else looks good from the looks of it. want to take it off. It's telling me I can't. Like, I'm sorry. That's the first step in the process. There is no reason I wouldn't be able to. 17%, so we'll be able to repair that one. This rotor's gonna need replaced or repaired. Should say resurface. It'd be more accurate. Yeah, no. As some of you may have noticed, I did have to take down my last video due to lack of video quality. I do not like to put up lesser than videos, so I did have to remove that, as for some reason the recording process got messed up about a third of the way in. And this rotor will also need to be resurfaced. Let's go over here and get started with that process. Alright, that's that taken care of. We just repaired that, right? Yeah, that should be good. Let's go ahead and get this back on here. Since it's at 100, I'm just going to replace it with a cylinder that's 100. And we'll get that tire back on. Making sure we get the correct size. Looks like all four tires are the same size. I'll just put 100 on. We don't want that going out before the caliber brake pads do. With that, we have resolved the brake problems. We do still have an issue with the engine running choppy. Engine does suggest it's the engine, but that doesn't always mean it is within this game. So let's take this tire off real quick. What I want to do is check out that independent drive axle and see what it's at. It's possibly that drive shaft. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm thinking that's probably fine too. The throttle. That would do it for one of them. As you can see, the throttle looks a little rusted out. Indication that that's probably part of the problem. Let's check out the fuel injectors. They look good. Possibly a spark plug, but that would inhibit from starting. Not really much more. Let's get that throttle replaced real quick. Let's see what percentage it's at. Should be able to repair that. There we go. We can go ahead and put that back on, but not before. I mean, looking at the condition of this, it's got me curious if maybe it's this top. I'm gonna check it out. I don't think it is, but why not? Could also be that. See, do we have 3 good ones? 3 good ones, because 74 is the minimum. So, yeah, that should be good. Six. Looking at this, it does look a little worn. I doubt if it's below the 70 range now. Matter of fact, while we're here, might as well check the timing. And it looks like I would need to get this removed. Close the belt. Maybe, yeah. In order to get that timing cover off, which would not show up on a compression test. I do not believe. And that's looking good. So I'll go ahead and put that back on. There is one other thing I can think of before we open up the gearbox. Kind of thinking maybe we should just do that first. As historically, if it's not everything we just looked at, it's either a clutch flywheel or a pressure plate, which is all in the gear assembly within the gearbox. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick, as opposed to real slow. You know, do that real quick. Get that down. We're gonna have to take out the starter from the top of the engine on this one. happens sometimes on what I would refer to as inverted engines, which are becoming more and more commonplace as time goes on. Look at that. Now I'm really thinking it's definitely something like, what is that, crankshaft bearing, uh, piston bearing, or a piston itself. Well, it's not a piston because that would show up, and it's definitely not a ring necessarily. Alright, so just looking at it from the top, it looks like the entire clutch assembly is in good shape. So that's good news. Kinda, in a way. Yeah, should have started with what I was thinking. If I would have noticed the rust on that oil reservoir there, I would have. But I did not see that, you know. Because the rust on it kind of indicates that the parts beneath it that I was listing off earlier could be worn as well. And oof, this is rough. Everything in there is in great shape. From the bearings to the pistons. That's weird. Well, it says the engine. I got an idea of what it might actually be. Sometimes it likes to lie to us. Right there. I was kind of thinking this part on the end link there might be off, but it looks like it's in pretty good shape. Pretty good shape. What's my next stop, you know? I'm going to the air filter. Or possibly a fuse. Might as well run that. Does give us XP too, so never a bad idea. Nope, not a fuse. Turns out it was very simple. Surprise, surprise, I overcomplicated it. Just an air filter. And with that, yeah, we have finished the repairs. So for the 2017 the Crocs Fret. Sounds like Latin. like a Latin prefix of some sort, maybe representing the word dog just came to mind. I don't know. But the credits, we have the engine is working, but it's choppy, 791 credits. Brake problems at 1,895 credits. Task bonus at 192 credits. Job bonus at 1,006 credits. Total payout of 3,884 credits. So with that, we'll see that the engine is incomplete because, as usual, at times I do like to leave out the starter, you know, just to put a little jazz in my episodes. And now I'm just being retarded. I do that sometimes. Sometimes you gotta get your retard on. And I do apologize for offending, but I use that word in the scientific methodology, such as being held back mentally, which is the definition of the word. So I'm not using it to offend anyone, just scientifically. And if science offends you, I don't know, maybe not watch my channel. I use scientific terminology quite often. Alright, so we have the Salem Corinne here, 17%. Reminds me of a good New York comic, Corinne. If you ever see Corinne Fisher coming to your city, you should go ahead and purchase her tickets. Looks like the video went off there, as it does from time to time. Let me see, it might still be a little off. That should be good. Alright, so that's good. And we have this car here. Let's go ahead and move this into the shot. What's that? 1989 Salem Corinne. We have transmission is noisy, and we have to repair a bunch of body parts. So, a noisy transmission, that's generally attributed to something within the gearbox, not the gearbox itself. In this case, with a limit of 42%, it could very well be the gearbox. So let's go ahead and take that off real quick. Huh, weird design, you see? The drive shaft is actually blocking you from taking off the gearbox when it's in the back of the engine. I mean, on a inverted engine, you do have to take off the drive shaft that's built into there in a kind of way, so it's kind of normal there, but seeing it on this type of engine is kind of abnormal. I don't even know why I took that tire off. I guess I was thinking about the independent drive axles, which this does not have. I don't know why they made such a big deal out of those, and for that matter, why I just removed the other tire. Let's check this out while we're here, though. I'm surprised proccess, that doesn't need replaced. You got 44%. I just really want to replace it, you know. Alright. It might help if we remove the starter first. Always a good place to start. It's like in my mind, starters don't exist, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. Well, the pressure plate does look like it could use some replacing. Let me just confirm. That looks good. I doubt if we could repair that part, but let me check anyway. Yeah, we cannot repair the pressure to the plate. And what percentage was that at again? Looks like 27, so we will have to purchase another one of those. Probably gonna have to purchase a new gearbox as well, which means we're getting paid for this job. Because those are not cheap. 48%. Oh, that's actually good. Wish I could repair that for them. That's terrible looking. Yeah. Go ahead and do that. I don't want to put that thing back on there with it looking that way. Since we're just getting started on the hard mode, it's really not an option. In this garage. My other garage, it wouldn't be a problem. Go ahead and put that back on there. And we'll get started with the body parts. Now, let me see. I'm not sure if I have the options that would give me the ability to repair all the body parts. That looks like parts. Screwing. And from what I could see, I should be able to repair the body parts. So with that, let's get started. We have the front bumper, left door, and right door. Bumper, door, and door. Front right fender. Left side mirror, and left tail light. Take both of the fenders off, even though this is the right one. Left side mirror will repair. Left tail light, we will have to replace. Rear bumper, rear left door, rear left window. So, rear bumper. And what we want to do, add that window for replacement. Rear window will also need replacement. Alright, so with that, let's go over to the body shop real quick. Force that Salem. And get that tail light. Left window. And rear window. As well as the left side mirror if need be. Let's see. Right side mirror. Don't really need to repair that. Oops. Oops again. Now I need to replace that. That's not cool. Front right fender. It was the left fender we need to replace. And that would be for the Salem, not whatever that is. Fender. Wrong Salem. Gonna need to replace that 70 or 7%. Got that one. Didn't even need to, I don't believe. We got it anyway. Rear right door. Rear left door. Yes, we will need to repair that. What was that at? 17. And got that. That. Side mirror. Yes. up as a repairable part. We'll add that in there. Go ahead and put that back on along with the new window. And get that bumper back on there. Let's see what we have here. Alright. As you can see here, this is off color. Let me see. We do have quite a bit of other body parts, so what I'm going to do is just repair those other body parts we have here for the other vehicles and put those, well, then we're going to go ahead and add a warehouse if we're able to, and put those in said warehouse in case we need them in the future. Or better yet, given our current credit status, just go ahead and repair these, and I'll show you a little something you could do to make a little money on the side if need be. So now that we have all those repaired, what you could do is just resell them. And since we have those repaired and these parts are unrepairable, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and sell everything in here. So a simple way of doing that is to press sell here, but when we do it, we want to sell parts at 100, and that you could do if you're looking to sell all parts at that level. This instance, we're just looking to sell the body parts, so I'm not necessarily going to do that. But if you ever do need to sell all parts at a certain percentage, as you can see down here, you can just go to sell parts and select said percentage, and it'll sell off anything below that percentage. With that, let's just go ahead and sell off all of these body parts. There we go. So now we are at 16,128 when I believe we were previously at 12,000, somewhere in that range. So that should be good. And now that we got everything repaired for the 1989 Salem Karen, that brings the transmission is noisy to 88 credits. Repair body panels at 2,775 credits for a task bonus of 220, probably because we repaired that gearbox for him when we didn't have to, as well as a body part here and there. And we got a job bonus of 2,146 credits and for a total payout of 5,229 credits. So go ahead and click finish there and find that we're missing a front license plate. Oh, put that on there. Everything else seems to be good, so we'll go ahead and click finish for a 5,200 something. Pretty good payout. And given we have about 21,000, might as well see if there's anything that could benefit us we don't already have. Warehouse 750, not bad, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. customization paint shop. Now the car wash I feel is a very simple way of getting additional credits per repair. So that's definitely something I'm going to go ahead and purchase. And the test path is a brilliant way of diagnosing a lot of problems. As you can see, it also allows us to align the steering as well as the headlights. So definitely going to go ahead and purchase that. And with that, I think we will be going to get another order. Ford Mustang. Looks like that is in pretty bad condition. Why not? Be great last order to take. Now, when we have it in this condition right here, before we do anything, I just want to take it over to the car wash and get it cleaned out at the car wash. So, got that cleaned out. And we got it all vacuumed out, armor rolled up. We'll go ahead and put it on the lift. And replace timing related parts. Now we'll need to do that. Lack of engine power. But the filters need replaced. Suspension feels loose. Find and fix any running gear problems. Knocking sound coming from suspension. Brake problems. Repair damaged body parts. So first, let's just get started here. The removal of said filters. That one we could just go ahead and replace immediately. That being the fuel filter. And if we come on over here, it'll be at the bottom of the engine for the oil filter. We'll go ahead and drain that oil while we're at it. And while we have the vehicle on the lift, we could also get started replacing some of those brake parts. Alright, so limit is 31%. Caliber looks like it definitely needs replaced, as does the brake pad. 31, no, caliber's good. Well, I'm guessing the brake pad was one of these, so we'll just put a new one of those on. Let me check this one out. Actually, really rough. That's good. That's good at 40. That's good at 31. Put a new brake pad on there. And that caliber should be fine. I'll leave that off for possible repairs here soon. not going to cause any problems mechanically, so can't justify doing anything with it. We will repair that brake shoe and this brake cylinder. Like so. Take these on back over here. Surprisingly, on this Mustang, the tire ratios are the same on all 4 tires. Gonna need to replace that. Pretty certain it's way too low to repair. 21%. Oh, I did get a new one, so we might as well put that on and repair that later. However, with our suspension problems, we'll want to check this out. See about that as well. Go ahead and check those real quick. Brake shoe's actually good. That we're going to repair. Axle, that's technically good, and so is that. So, can't do anything with those. And we'll go ahead and put that tire back on. Well, it does pain me not to repair these rims. New shop, can't do anything, unfortunately. You know, when I see a vehicle coming up, part of me wants to rebuild it, because that's what I post on my channel most of the time, I guess. That is my primary thing to do. You know what? I think I just came up with an idea for our next video, which I'm going to keep secret and kind of surprise you guys. Oh, look at that. We just leveled up. That, let me see, don't need to replace that. Those of you wondering, the screws there, I didn't really look at them, as I pretty much memorized their placement. But you got one there, one there, and one there, in the triangle shape for that part there. I see it easier here. It's this part right there. Once you get that on, obviously you got that wheel bearing there. That's at 10%, so we'll need to replace that. And 23 on that disc, so we'll replace that one. 45 on there. And I'm guessing this one was one of these checked in. I don't believe it was that one. I think I would have noticed that. I think it was probably that one. And 51 is higher. The calipers are really easy though. They only have 2 screws in the back, and once you remove it in real life, you're going to have a little plate that you also got to remove. And once you get that removed, you just go ahead and take off that brake pad, replace that along with it. After a while, you just kind of tell by looking at it, condition it's in. Move that on back, as we did already drain that oil. Fix running gear problems, suspension. Let's get that fuel filter in there. Oh, might help if we replaced it. Go ahead and do that. Just need to replace that air filter as far as the filters go. And the timing. And we got the running gears issues, which could be related to parts down here. More than likely. But in either case, let's go ahead and start the timing. Because along with that, we'll probably find that that fan needs replacing. Or a belt here and there. I see we can't actually take off that belt just immediately like that without taking off the fan. Even though in real life it might be possible, you're not supposed to be doing it. Honestly, you just kind of, I think you'd still have to cut it if you wanted to do it, to be honest. Unless you were removing this one, that would be doable. Just slip it off. And slip that one off. But that one would require the fan in real life too, I guess. But yeah, I have seen that lower belt just slipped off before and replaced. And that. Now we will want to drain the coolant fluid before taking off the water pump. Otherwise, it just spill all over the floor. we're just removing all of those parts in order to get to the timing cover. Kind of a pain. That's how it was in these older cars. Alright, so we got the gear there needs replacing. More than likely the belt too. Let me check this out. Eesh, I don't like the way that looks. I don't like it at all. Gonna do one of those. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and replace this, as well as this. We would have ran a compression test before getting to any of this. However, the engine lacks power, and with the timing chain technically at 1%, that's probably going to break. %, for that water pump. So that's going to need to be repaired. Let's see about this coil here. Rotor, I believe is what you call it there, it looks like. Repair that. I'm going to check into the coil too. See if that might need to be repaired. Fan looks good. Might as well repair the clips while we're in here. Coil's good. That's going to need to be replaced. Sorry, just messing around with some stuff. Messing around with some stuff. Let me see here. See the condition of that battery real quick. 51. And might as well go ahead and run the electric meter. Everything there is up to specifications. I'm gonna check out this fuel pump. Yep, that's at specifications. Well, above them technically. Let's see if the vehicle starts now. Enough to do a compression test. Pistons, copper cord, camshaft, rocker arms, all good. Crankshaft is even good. Well, parts that were concerning me are actually good, so that's a good thing. And with the suspension issues, since we now have that test path, I wanted to move this on over there and run a little test. Rear shock absorber and a bushing. Not bad. So while we're in here, we might as well go ahead and adjust the alignment to the wheels there. Should be good on that. And let's check out the headlight alignment. That both looks good. That, let's go and take it back to the lift. We'll get it lifted up. Lift it up, and check out one of these little dangers. That one's good. Put that back on. And try and remove this one. That's one that needs replaced. There you go. Got that replaced. Now we have one rubber bushing, which could honestly be in a number of places. Let's check out the front cross member first. We'll just check out some of these. See which ones may need replaced. Like that one is a high probability. As is that. There's a 49 there. 43. 41 and 39. So those are all good enough to reach the specifications. With that, there's a couple easy ones to get to. Well, technically about 4 of them. We can check out real quick before we take out the lower suspension arms in the front to check on those bushings, which hopefully we will not have to. Huh? Those are all good. So with that, we know those are good. We know the bushings in the front cross member are good. Looks like this bushing in the lower suspension arm is bad. Just gotta save some time there with that tool we use. That being the magnifying glass tool. It allows you to see the condition of the parts that have already been checked. And yeah. All those parts being checked by the test we did. That is how useful it is. You just run it through that test pad and display everything. Which I don't use quite often anymore, as kind of gotten used to where the problems are. I generally just look at it myself, but it is helpful in the beginning when you're just getting started out. And sometimes once you've already mastered it. Oh, suspension. Feeling loose. Fix gears, repair damaged body parts. Running gear issues. Involves the suspension. Could have to do with that little thing. Looks pretty bad on this side too, so I'll check both of them. That being the outer tie rod. I'm going to check the inner on this one too. And since we're checking that one, we'll check that one. And the inner on both sides. I believe those would have been checked in the test pack, so more than likely not the issue, but definitely worth a check. Yep, 41, 41, both of those are good. And the outer tie rods are good. And these are also good. Like I said, I do like to do things manually. But at 31%, it's kind of hard to distinguish between the margin of 10%. It seems once it gets below 40, apparently, I have difficulty distinguishing it. So with that being the case, let me check something out real quick. Now that looks in the red, well close to it. Kinda makes me wonder, but since it's not popping up in the list, it's obviously not that. Now this cross member is really what I'm concerned with. No, it's not red. Doubt if it's going to pop up in the list. Let's check out these leaf springs. New bolts. Ooh, excuse me. Looks like we got one U-bolt that needs replaced. There we go. Running gears. Still having running gear issues. Gotta be honest. Now, if it is anything in this assembly, however, since we've already looked at the assembly almost in its entirety, we haven't found any running gear issues. It does lead me back to the gearbox. So let's check something out here. Running gear issues still not populating. Where are you, little bolt? There you are. Move and move. 35, so that's good. 47, that's good. And some's telling me it was at 27. We'll put this on, see what happens. That looks like it's the one. for good. I am certain it's within there somewhere. No, but it can't be that. That wouldn't cause any driving issues, you know? And there goes my phone again. I'm gonna blame that on my sister. Running gear issues. Let me try something. It's not gonna be it, because if it was it, it would be stating as a sound coming from the engine. But let's check it anyway. I really do dislike this problem. It is hard to diagnose. Just want to see what condition these are at, given they look so bad. I doubt if these are it. It is running gear. Or if I'm gonna check the crankshaft bearings, I might as well check these as well. Yeah, those are all good. certain that just said 41. 49. Alright, even better. 36. That looks good too. Back to my original speculation that this part that shouldn't affect the running of the gears at all might be it. Might also be that drive shaft, which would make more sense. So let's go ahead and get that removed real quick. I don't know why I didn't do that in the beginning. Nope, drive shaft is in good condition. Good enough anyway. Not to be it. No, that's good. As is that. Check it out over here. That's good. And so is that. I do believe we found the problem. Just didn't realize we did earlier. 20%. That would be a little low. That's good. The front spring is what needs to be replaced. Probably solve the suspension issue. Hopefully the running gear issue. Yep, that did solve those. So let's go ahead, get these tires back on here. Try and remember that for running gear issues in the future. Running gear, something that's not even a gear, front spring. Got it. Front spring, not even a gear, though registers as running gear. Yeah. That's one of the frustrating parts about this game. The categorization in some instances is not entirely accurate, in my opinion. I mean, maybe I'm missing it somewhere, and I'm sure I am. I just need someone to explain it. So, if anybody understands that, why that would be named in that kind of naming convention, please feel free to comment below if you're watching on the video, or if you're watching on the live stream, please feel free to post it in chat. I would love to hear from you, as that does have me curious as to why that would be. I've always felt that way in regards to that one. That's why I really dislike the running gear issues. Let me make sure. Did get that starter on there. And what body parts would you have me repair? Front doors, left headlight, left side mirror, left tail light, side mirror, doors, left tail light. Jeez. That didn't work out so well. I'm gonna have to get a new door on that right door. And that is also unrepairable. that there. Get that. Both headlights and the windshield too, apparently. I want to make sure we get the right headlights, as these could be off aftermarket as well. That's why I add it to the list instead of just going ahead and purchasing it myself. Makes it easier. Now the windshield, on the other hand, doesn't have an aftermarket equivalent. So for that, we could just purchase. And as it would be, my audio is sounding a little sketchy all of a sudden, of course. So, yeah. This 1971 Ford Mustang. We did have replaced timing related parts at 370 credits. Lack of engine power at 20 credits. The filters need to be replaced at 49 credits. The suspension feels loose at 15 credits. Find and fix any running gear problems at 119 credits. Knocking sound coming from suspension at 6 credits. And task bonus of 349 credits. Job bonus of 2,715 credits. For a total payout of 6,690 credits. So before we fill up the oil. So, you know, it always helps when you have oil in the engine. You know, it's just a wild thing that you would require oil in an engine that runs with pistons, concords, rings, but, you know, it's crazy, but you do need to lubricate those parts, apparently. And I like to forget it. Let me see if I've already gotten this. I have. Didn't want to forget that too, you know. Now we could finish that. That brings us back up to 13. And with that, I would like to thank you for joining today's stream. If you did enjoy the content, please feel free to click like. And if you would like to see more of this content, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.